Hello guys, today I am making a new video and I will show you how we set up the aircraft before every flight and the first flight of the day. So we are here at the most beautiful airport from Germany at Stuttgart Airport, my home airport, and I will fly today one short flight to Hamburg with the FSLABS A320 Sharklets, and we have today the Eurowings Zulu Quebec. Okay, the first thing which we do is the so-called safety exterior inspection, and there are only three things to do. We are doing that when we come to the aircraft. So we have to check that the chocks are in place, of course. Otherwise, yeah, the airplane would already be gone. And check that the landing gear levers or landing gear doors are closed. That are this one, they are closed, and that the APU area is clear, so that we can start the APU. And that's it. And now we go into the cockpit and start with the preliminary cockpit preparation. So, okay, now we're inside the cockpit. I will just do this a little bit. Yes, okay. We are in the cockpit and we have to check several positions of some switches. Of course, we start with the engine masters. They have to be switched off, and the engine mode selector should be on normal. Then we check the weather radar, that is in the off position. It's off. And then I would check if it's correct, weather plus turbulence and auto. That's a spring-loaded knob, so obviously it will go back to auto anyways. Then we go up here and check that the landing gear lever is in the down position. Then we continue with the overhead panel. From there, we are checking that the wipers are off, both wipers are off, and then we can turn on the batteries. So, battery 1 and battery 2. Okay, and you can see we have the external power, so we it's a whale, so we press the button and then the aircraft comes alive. Okay. The Airbus is now doing a self-test and we just wait a little bit. Yeah, because I would not press anything while the self-test is in progress. And the next thing we would like to do is to start the APU. And therefore, of course, we have to do the APU fire test before that. So we just wait a little bit longer. And then we do this. Yeah, we're at Stuttgart position 11. And okay, perfect. Now we can hear the triple click. Okay, now we have to do the APU fire test. It will be this button here. Press it. And yeah, we just have to wait a little bit longer. I mean, you can do it like this, then you will not hear the warning because the computers are not ready yet. So, but it should be no problem. Maybe we can try again now. Test. Okay, now you hear the warning. You see, of course, the fire light. The discharge light should be on. And, of course, the warning sound. Master warning. You can switch that off. And the ECAM procedure comes. That is good. So we can switch that off. And now we can start the APU. APU master on. Wait 3 seconds and start the APU. And then I will come back to you if the APU is started. Okay, the APU is now fully started. So that means we go ahead with our procedure. Normally you can switch the external power off now, but I leave that on until now to reduce the load of the APU. Then we come to our air condition panel. So I would like to turn on the APU bleed, that we have APU feeding our packs, that we have the air condition, and of course we turn this into position, yeah, just leave it there about 23 degrees centigrade. And then we turn off our cockpit lighting. Yeah, cockpit lighting. So I would like to have all lights set, that we can, yeah, have a beautiful view. And you will hear the APU bleed is now feeding the packs. Okay, cockpit lighting is on and fine. We don't need these integrated these floodlights that are for that. It's staying, so we don't need it. And then we continue. We have all set the cockpit lighting. Now we have to go to the lower ecam page, and the first thing we do is hold this button 3 seconds, and if any ecam warning was on the last flight, it will come up here, but you can see there is nothing. It's normal from, and you won't see here anything, so it's good. Then we check the door page, which is already selected, and the cockpit oxygen, it's good. 1700 psi, that's fully enough for 2 pilots. We have to check the hydraulic fluids, that they are all in the green band. That's correct. And then the engine page, we have to check that the oil quantity is good, 17.5, yeah, that's all fine. Okay, then we check the flap lever, position 0, and it's according to this also in position 0, so that's fine. Then we check the speed brakes lever, that are they in off position and not armed. And the accu pressure is in the green band, I think. Yeah, accu pressure green band, so we can set the parking brake to on. Okay, that's good. Now we come to the so-called cockpit preparation. So we are setting this up for every flight, which we do. So continue with the overhead panel, all lights off, all white lights off, of course, so only crew supply. The fuel pumps for now, I leave that off because we have to refuel the aircraft. So this is the first thing we do, all white lights off. Then we continue a flow like this, and for that we have the first is the ground control, the cockpit voice recorder, switch it on. That we have also the briefing and what do the pilots speak on ground on the cockpit voice recorder. Otherwise you will only have the speaking when the engines are started. Then we have to do the cockpit voice recorder test. Press it. Yeah, that's fine. And then we check that the switch is to captain and purser, or only to captain. It depends on the company. We will leave that as it is right now. And then all ADRs to nav. Some airlines always wait until the on button switch is extinguished. I don't do this, so, but there are some companies, they will do this. Okay. Then we come to this point, the exterior lighting. We set the nav and logo lights to 1 and the strobe lights to auto. Then the signs have to be set to the no smoking to auto, Seatbelt signs we leave it off because we need to refuel, and the emergency exit lights to arm. Then we come to probe and window heat, that is on auto, that's good. Landing gear elevation should also be on auto, of course. The pack flow, we leave it on normal. Today we don't have much passengers, yeah, so we leave it on normal, that's fine. The elec panel, yeah, we have to do the battery check now. Okay, battery check. So we go to the elec page. I will put this up right here, and you see now here that the battery 1 and 2 producing 28 volt. That's also good. So if we turn this off, yeah, you will see the amber crosses right there. It will go off, and if we turn this on, the ampere should drop. Yeah, that was, I don't know what this was again. Elec. So, but you can see it's already until 0 ampere for 4 right there. So that means the battery is already charged and in good conditions. Okay, now we come to the engine fire test for engine 1 and 2. This is this button here. We press it. We have engine 1 discharge, engine 2 discharge, and again, I will hold this here, the red fire push button. We come down, we see the master warning. We can switch it off. Then we have the engine fire ECAM, and not to forget the fire light down here. Same for the number 2 engine. Engine 1, engine 2, red fire push button, the master warning, the ECAM procedure, and the fire light down there. Okay, now we come, I think, to a little bit, yeah, the audio switching, yeah, knob should be in a normal position. It's not simulated here on the FSLABS, but it's in the right condition, that's good. Then the audio, first we continue, I think, with here, yeah, with the ventilation panel. It's all in auto, that's good. If there is heavy rain, there is a procedure where you can close the compartments that the rain is not come in, that's fine. And then we have to set the VHF free panel on the PA, that we have the PAs on the cockpit voice recorder. That's also fine. Yeah. Main panel, yeah. We come to the just wait. Standby instrumenter and the clock, it should be correct. Anti-skid nose steering should be on, of course. ACP. Yeah. We can set this now as we want, so I will set this like this. Then we hear the announcements a little bit, that we know when the cabin is ready. These switches should also be on normal. That's good. Thrust levers idle, and then the engine masters are off. Okay, the parking brake is set, and the landing gear gravity extension handle is stowed like this. And now, guys, we come to our MCDU preparation. So MCDU, it's right over there. Okay, that should be fine for now. Okay, now we prepare the MCDU. We have, which you can see here, CFM engines, CFM56, also CFM56 engines, A320-200. And you can see the nav database is active until the 6th of October. Valid, no? That's the latest, so that is fine. Idle performance things is, yeah, this aircraft has Sharklets, so it's a little bit less fuel consumption. It means that you don't burn much fuel, and the performance factor is also, yeah, good. So it means about 3% you burn less fuel with the aircraft in cruise, and the drag is not that high in descent conditions. Okay, we start with the init page, and now we have to set this up correctly. I will open the OFP, which I have here, because we need this. And be aware I have a real MCDU on my desk, so I will use this. So we put in from to Echo Delta Delta Sierra Stuttgart to Echo Delta Delta Hotel Hamburg and press this line select key. Okay. Then we need our flight number. Today it will be German wings, 6 Papa Whiskey. Put it in there. According to our flight plan, our cost index we use is 20. Okay. Cruising altitude will be level 300. Okay. So that's the initialization init page. The first page we like to use to set up the MCDU. Our alternate, let's check this, it will be Bremen Echo Delta Delta Whiskey. Don't forget that. Okay. I don't have a route, so yeah, I can't do this. Okay. We have checked the ground temperature with the total air temperature or the static air temperature. It's the same on ground if you don't move, so it will be 13 degrees. We can put it in. Yeah, so that's fine. Now we continue with our flight plan. So we go to flight plan, of course, and then we only have, because I didn't do any uplink, we only have Stuttgart and Hamburg. We press on Stuttgart, set the departure, and according to our flight plan it will be the Okiba for hotel departure. Okiba for hotel departure. When we come to our charts, Okiba for Bravo and hotel. It's the runway 07, Okiba for hotel, runway 07. There you have the routing. Intercept Stuttgart Rail 072 to 9.8 DME Stuttgart, then left turn to Notga and Okiba. So you need, of course, RNAV it's an RNAV departure, you need this. You can't fly this raw data. And the initial climb clearance is 5,000. So I will set this now because later maybe we forget this 5,000. And in Germany we have the so-called overlays for the SIDs. So here you can see the overlays, and then it's a real RNAV departure. You have Delta 0035, Notga, Okiba. Okay. Just for your short information, we come here again and set the runway 07, Okiba for Bravo, insert, Delta 0035, Notga, Okiba. That's inserted here. Okay, now we have airway. So we go to Okiba, airways, and put in the airway. It's November 851 via insert to Rimki, Romeo India Mike Kilo India 2. So we have it inserted here. You can obviously leave this out and do only the airways. So Zulu 99, Zulu 99 here, Uniform November 851. So then it will do it by itself because he finds the points. Papa 605, Papa 605, Nolgo. And Nolgo, from there we're starting our okay. Which we do now is we just open the plan mode. Airport, and insert just the arrival route. It will be runway 23. So Hamburg arrival 23, Nolgo 1 Papa. We are the transition. We need this in Hamburg. You have to fly this according to the charts, which you always should be reading. Okay. And now what I always do is just with the arrows up and down, you can scroll when you are in plan mode to the whole routing. So please scroll. You can do it 40 miles, I think, just okay. 40 miles and then scroll there, that you can have a feeling like what's the routing like, huh? Okay, and then you can see the transition at Hamburg. Yeah, that's the Nolgo 1 Papa. With the transition you have maybe you have constraints you can check, but obviously we would brief this in flight, so you don't need to do this now, the arrival. So but you have a look how the routing is like, okay, and that's fine, perfect. Now of course we need, if we have the departure route, we need maybe some VORs to tune in, or ADFs. So here we have VOR Stuttgart, and then you can see it will be intercept Stuttgart Rail 072, and that's the outbound course of the runway. So we have to tune in the RADNAVs now. So we're going to the RADNAV page, set it VOR 1. I would like to always put the VOR which is located at the airport, turn in at VOR 1. So I'll turn in Stuttgart. Then at the whole world there are 3 Stuttgart VORs, or at least Sierra Tango Golf VORs. So that's the 2 nautical miles from us now. That's the it's 2 nautical miles from us, and we have the 116.85. So when we do this 116.85, that's the correct one. Okay, now Stuttgart is turned in at VOR 1. Do we need another VOR? No. If we have the different runways 25, then I would turn in Lübeck, of course. We don't need Lübeck right now because we have nothing to do with this. So that's the VOR. Okay, then we turn the needle on, that we have it right here. And last but not least, the course, of course, 072. Because if you do this, you have these needle needle if you deviate from the radial of the VOR. If you don't tune in any course, you won't have this needle. You can fly, obviously, without the needle radial 072, then you have to follow these, but it's much more difficult. So diff rip, we go now to init page. We already have this, but there is, like you can see here, init B page, which you can do with these arrows right to left. Okay, now refueling is still in progress, so I don't know if we already have a zero fuel weight. According to our OFP, it's 59.5. We don't have a zero fuel weight CG, so we put in standard 30 and then press this one. We don't have a CG, so we put in 30. We have to be aware that we can we have to change that. Then the block fuel. This is the fuel which you have to put in, which is there. So we have 6 tons, so we put in 6.0. Okay. Then we have trip wind, the average wind component. You can do it with the wind upload, request wind data, or the average wind component. On this flight I use the trip wind. It will be headwind with 5 knots, so yeah, no much, headwind 0.5, that's inserted. And now the whole fuel prediction, we need to put it in here. According to our OFP, we need 0.7 tons rounded up for the alternate. The final reserve fuel would be 1.1, so we put in 1.4 to have a little bit margin, but because you never want to fly below this 1.4 tons of fuel, then you have a real problem. So we don't need this, we don't want this. Okay, then progress. Obviously, I've noticed that I forget to do the secondary flight plan page. You should do this if you do the flight plan. You do the secondary flight plan. Why do you do this? Because maybe you have an engine failure. You want to turn back to the airport. So the first thing we do, we search on our charts a holding availability. So you can we have to look, and I would suggest Notga, because from Notga we can directly go to Lubeck VR and do the approach runway 07 again. So how do you program this? Secondary flight plan. We go to secondary flight plan, copy active. Then we have the whole routing like the normal flight plan. We go to Notga, hold, return. Now he's programming the holding and calculating. And from Notga, hold Notga, we select new destination Echo Delta Delta Sierra, arrival, no star, runway 07, no star, and no wire. Okay, and from there you have the secondary flight plan with no star, no wire. That means you only have the initial approach fix, the FATR, and from there to the 3-degree glide path down to the runway. Okay, you can also watch this here. If we go to plan mode, that's the white line. So we fly this, there's the holding, and then we expect radar vectors to the point FATR, and from there we start the approach at Stuttgart. Okay, and now to the progress page. We turn in Echo Delta Delta Sierra, Echo Delta Delta Sierra runway 07. Insert. Okay, Perfect. Then we have a look. Flight level 355 would be optimum, because we don't fly that high. It should be no problem. But be aware, you should not be flying over the optimum level. Obviously you can, it's legal until this point, the recommended max flight level. But especially with an A321, you shouldn't fly that high to be over the optimum. As Captain Ingo said to us, we should never fly above flight level 340. It's a recommendation. It makes sense, of course, because the so-called coughing corner, you are close to your overspeed and close to your stall speed. You have not that much margin at flight level 390, maybe. Okay. So that's the preparation from the FMCG done. So now I will request boarding, then we do the briefing and then it goes on. So see you later if the passengers are boarded. Okay, the boarding is in progress now, so we do the takeoff performance calculation. Of course we do the airport Stuttgart, runway 07 full length, and then we can put in the winds. According to the weather, it's we have calm winds, outside air temperature 13 degrees, QNH 1020, that's already in there, it's dry, and the takeoff weight should be 65.5, so 5.6, and then the Mach takeoff CG 31.6. We can press calculate. And I would select config 1+F air condition on, of course. Calculate. Air condition on, calculate. So 149, 149, 150. Then we go there and select 149, 149, 150. Then we have a look at the thrust reduction and acceleration altitude. You can use a standard 1500. I will use the real world from Lufthansa figures, so we use 2280. 2280 runways 07 will be 2900. And of course we use flex temperature, it will be flex 63 and 0.7 down. Oops. Flex 63, sorry, 63, and flaps down, flaps 1 down 0.7. Okay. In real world, the pilot flying or the captain and the first officer would do the same calculation and check if the figures are the same or not. Okay, that's inserted. So just wait, and I will like to close the doors then and arm the doors for departure. Okay, now the MCDU is fully prepared. So we check that we have flight director on, we have climb enough blue and here, and FD1 and 2. We don't need the LS button because we have no low visibility procedures in progress. We set the to arc 20 miles and the constraint to on. And then the VR selector I already sorted, and the FCU is set to 5000 and the initial altitude. I think now you would test the oxygen mask, which is over there. So it's not correctly simulated in the FSLABS, so you only can rest this. You cannot switch it to emergency or something to 100%. Okay.
Stuttgart Tower, Lufthansa 1001 is on an 6-mile final for runway 07.
Okay. Then yeah, it's everything inserted. Landing elevation is in auto, and that's good. So now it's time for the departure briefing. Now I would like to ask if he's ready. So departure briefing. We have A320 Sharklets, CFM engines, technically no issues. We have the NAV database active until the 6th of October. We are flying from Stuttgart to Hamburg. Alternate will be Bremen. Corsair German wing 6 Papa Whiskey. Corsair X20 flight level 300 and ground temperature corrected to 13 degrees. We are flying the runway 07 Okiba for hotel departure route straight ahead until Delta Sierra 035, left turn to Notka and then to Okiba. For now I have inserted runway 23 on the approach and the Nolgo 1 Papa arrival for now. On the secondary flight plan I've inserted holding over Notka, quick return runway 07 no star, no via. RADNAV page, Stuttgart at VOR 1 with the course 07 to the outbound course. Init B page we have 0.2 taxi, that means 0 right 59.7, CG 32.8, block will be 60, that's correct. And I've inserted the average wind component of 5, headwind 5 knots. Takeoff weight 65.5, so we are below max landing weight. Just a little bit, but we are. We have final reserve 1.4, alternate 0.7, that means we have plenty, we have about 30 minutes, so we can do one another approach at Hamburg. Progress. Flight level 300, for quick return I had started Stuttgart runway 07, nav accuracy high, GPF is primary. I'm the pilot flying, you the pilot monitoring, standard callouts. Emergency briefing, it's gonna be my takeoff flaps 1 plus F takeoff. In case of malfunction before 100 knots we stop in any case. Between 100 and V1 only according to the safeness of the aircraft, pilot's incapacitation and the aircraft is unable to fly. In this case I call stop. My actions: thrust lever close, full reverse. When we come to a complete stop, set the parking brake on and over the PA, cabin crew at stations, cabin crew at stations. You will monitor reverse green and decel and inform ATC that runway is blocked. At or above V1, no action below 400 feet except silence the master 1 positive climb gear up. When we reach 2900 feet and engines are secure, we push to level off, clean up the aircraft, activate secondary flight plan and climb to 5000, and from there we go into the holding and we come back to runway 07 due the weather is good. Okay. Any questions?
I'm good.
Okay, now the briefing is completed, so we would do the before start checklist right now. We just have to check the normally you would check now the zero fuel weight again. That's correct. And then we check that the doors are closed and the windows closed. Perfect. And these lights are in arm position right now.
Wind or all sunshades. Your hand luggage should be stored properly and it remains in an unlikely event of an evacuation. Ensure that your seatbelt is
Before start checklist.
Please note that all
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On and auto.
ADIRs.
Enough.
Fuel quantity.
5,960 kilograms.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Baro ref.
1020 set.
1020 set. Down to the line.
Okay. Stuttgart traffic, the German wings. 6 Papa Whiskey at position 11 is pushing back, facing east.
Locking the gear.
So, beacon
Stuttgart
on.
traffic, Lufthansa 1001, cleared the runway.
And parking brake is on until now and nose. Right.
Tuck is in position and bypass pin is
And the
inserted.
acrobacy is
Ready
confirmed.
to push. Apron is now clear.
Below the line.
Parking brakes.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
Set.
Apron
Before
is now
start
clear
checklist
with
complete.
Parking brakes.
Okay. Parking brake released.
Pushing now.
Pushing facing
Clear
east.
for engine starts.
Okay. We are clear to engine start. That's perfect. So we would now starting the engines already. So engine mode selector ignition. Wait until here and starting engine 2. Okay, now we don't have to do anything, just watching the ECAM and
Stuttgart traffic, Lufthansa 1001 is taxiing to gate 14 via Delta November Mike.
okay, the traffic is no situation for us. We had 1-1 pushing back. So if he is arriving, I don't know where he is, then yeah. Okay. Starting engine 1. Oh, I like these Sharklets, they are beautiful. So okay.
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes and confirm.
Okay, brakes are set, remove steering pin and towing equipment, please. So brakes are set. So engine mode is normal. That's the trigger for the pilot monitoring. Flaps 1. So the trim is already gone back to 0 again. That's because the nose steering disconnect is on. So we have to do it again. So just wait.
Tuck disconnected and clear.
Okay.
Bypass pin has been removed.
Normally the pilot monitoring will set this. So yeah, perfect. After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
31% set.
Clear left and right. Disconnecting now.
31% set.
Bye-bye.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Flag roll check.
Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Okay. Ground is clear. Rudder.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
And for now, I would like to do the before takeoff checklist because we don't have much distance to the runway. Okay, now we can do the APU bleed off. Before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. Briefing.
Confirmed.
Flap setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. V1, VR, V2, flex temp.
149, 149, 150. Flex temp 63.
V1, 149. VR, 149. V2, 150. Flex temp 63 degrees ATC.
Set.
Ecam memo.
Takeoff, no blue.
Down to the
Except
line.
Kevin. Check, but that is no problem. Okay. We do the summary takeoff briefing. We have a climb nav blue FD1 and 2. 5,000 feet on the FCU. Our squawk is set to 1,000. And the brake temperatures are very good. It will not change. Cabin ready. It will not change much, so that's good. Gross rate 65.6. That means we are below max landing weight if we can turn back. Okay, if after departure, if engine failure occurs, we would do the ECAM procedure after 400 feet, and then at 2,900 push to level off, clean up the aircraft, activate Sentinel flight plan, holding over Notka, and then we can turn back.
Stuttgart traffic, Lufthansa 1001 and turning onto India and then Mike.
Stuttgart traffic, German 6 Papa Whiskey behind the next Lufthansa. Taxi holding point runway 07 via Mike, India and Kilo. Okay, we have to wait until the colleague of the Lufthansa is gone past us.
Traffic, can I turn to stand before you taxi?
German 6 Papa Whiskey A firm, we are between stand 10 and 11.
We'll turn onto stand 14 Lufthansa 1001.
Thank you. Okay. Because we are on Unicom with the autocontroller, you should always say your attentions. That's very important and for the situation awareness, of course. So he will use stand 14, that's in front of there, so that should be fine. And now you see how long it takes to set up a flight. It's very, very time intensive, so yeah. So 11, 12, 13, 14. So we can start the taxi, I think. Clear left side.
Clear right side.
So add a little bit of thrust. Cabin is ready, by the way. 30 is enough. 30% I want. And brake check.
Pressure 0.
Okay, here we are allowed to taxi with only 10 knots. So we have to be aware of that.
Lufthansa 1001, arrived at the stand, goodbye.
Goodbye, thank you very much. Okay. So we are already done our summary takeoff briefing, so we are always ready for departure. That's good. Yeah, a little bit we can taxi faster. We are at 6 knots, so 6 knots are is a little bit low. 7 knots, okay. And we have it's foggy out there, but according to the ATIS we have good visibility for a comeback, of course, for a Cat 1 approach. No problem until now. Okay, mal schauen, wie das Wetter in Hamburg so ist. Es ist bewölkt vorhergesagt, also. Oh, there is the old building of Stuttgart. I think there was the ground control one day in there. So now using the tiller to turn on the ground. Only the captain will do this. Okay. Runway 07 India is right over there. So that means we have full length as calculated. With the CFN engines you need a little bit of thruster to go away. I think in real life you don't need that much thrust, but yeah. And with the IE engines you will taxi like a rocket and you always need a braking. Okay, cut 2 holding point, we go to normal cut 1 holding point. So we
Approach path clear of traffic.
strobe lights on.
Cabin crew, be seated for takeoff.
Stuttgart traffic, German 6 Papa Whiskey landing up and departing runway 07 Okiba for hotel departure. Below the line?
Takeoff runway.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Cabin crew.
Advised.
TCAS.
TARA.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
PAX.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Okay. It's difficult on a flight sim to taxi, so yeah. Okay, we are standing, so turning the lights all to on. Oh, the wing lights we don't need. Ready.
A firm.
Takeoff. Brakes. 50 stable. Man flag 63 SRS runway outer thrust blue.
Checked. Thrust set. .100 knots.
Checked.
V1 rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up. NAV.
Checked. Gear up.
AP1. Level climb.
Checked.
Thrust climb, climb alt blue.
Checked. Checked.
Okay, now we imagine we would clear for long radar, flight level 300.
Checked.
$30,000 blue.
Checked.
And now watching the total air temperature 90 degrees, so no problem.
Checked.
S speed. Flaps 0.
Speed checked. Flaps 0.
After takeoff climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
PAX.
On.
Down to the line.
So it's yeah, overcasted, but oh, it looks great if you come out of the clouds. It's always a pleasure. Okay, now 5,000 we reach transition altitude. Set standard.
Standard cross-checked. Passing flight level 055. Now,
Checked, 0 difference. Below the line,
barrel ref.
standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff, climb checklist complete.
Okay guys, now we are climbing out of Stuttgart, and I think I will call you when we are at our cruising altitude and continue with the approach preparation. From now there's nothing special. At 10,000 feet we switch autopilot monitoring, switching
Checked.
the lights to off. Thank you. And yeah, we will clear the Radnav page and nothing special. So, see you
Checked.
later again. Thank you for watching.